Imagine that everything around you is connected. Not in a superficial or visible way, but through invisible threads woven by the cosmos into a vast pattern that includes us, enveloping us in every detail. Every coincidence that happens, every fortuitous meeting, every event that seems to come out of nowhere, these are messages the universe is sending you. Think of a butterfly whose wings flutter somewhere far away, and how this subtle, almost imperceptible movement can influence the entire ecosystem around it. We are like that too, small parts of a greater whole, navigating an infinite web. Just as a bird follows an invisible current in the sky, there is something greater guiding us, a gentle force pushing us towards places and moments that sometimes don't make sense at first, but somehow fit perfectly later. This is the charm of synchronicity, the magical and mysterious way the universe guides us along the paths that need to be traveled. Synchronicity is an invitation to open our eyes to this invisible interconnection. If you are here now hearing these words, maybe the universe itself is trying to communicate with you, perhaps suggesting a new path, perhaps answering a question you didn't even know you needed to ask. Carl Jung, the great Swiss psychoanalyst, gave a name to this phenomenon. He believed synchronicity was not just any coincidence but a kind of meaningful coincidence. Something that connects what we feel and think with what happens around us, as if there were a mirror between our inner and outer worlds. This reflection, as mysterious as it may seem, is not mere chance. It is the universe showing that we are in the right place at the right time, connected to something greater. These moments of synchronicity remind us that the universe is like a vast web, where everything is connected in ways our ordinary eyes cannot see. Many ancient cultures already believed this long before Jung put it into words. In Taoism, for example, there is the concept of Tao, the natural flow of the universe, a flow that cannot be forced, but must be followed with acceptance and serenity. It is in this flow, in this harmony, that synchronicities occur. They are like little whispers from the cosmos, reminding us that we are not alone, that there is an invisible hand guiding us. According to ancient spiritual traditions, the universe is not a cold and distant entity but rather a living, conscious being. It communicates with us in ways as subtle as they are powerful. Synchronicities are this silent language, a way the universe has found to tell us that everything is interconnected and that we, despite appearances, are part of an immense and mysterious whole. If we look closely, we can see that each step in our journey carries a meaning, a sort of divine sign encouraging us to move forward. The universe is like a vast web where everything is connected. Each strand of this web is an expression of energy, each intersection, a life, an experience. With our limited view, we often cannot see these connections, but they are there, weaving the great tapestry of existence. Think of a tree whose roots intertwine beneath the earth, forming a fabric of mutual support, of silent exchange. Such are the connections that bind us to the universe and to others around us. Ancient cultures understood this interconnection long before Jung. In Taoism, the concept of Tao reminds us that there is a natural flow to everything, a subtle force that moves life, guiding every falling leaf, every wave that crashes on the shore. Living in harmony with this flow is like navigating a river without resistance. It is surrendering to the course that life offers us, realizing that there is a greater order, a cosmic dance that choreographs each of our steps. Synchronicities are the moments when we can glimpse this dance, small openings that allow us to see the order behind the apparent chaos. Ancient mystics believed that the universe is a living being, a conscious whole that communicates with us, not in obvious ways but through subtleties, meaningful coincidences. For those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, these signs are like a calling, an indication that we are on the right path, that our journey, no matter how difficult it may seem, is being guided. In many spiritual traditions, there is the idea that the universe responds to our deepest longings, our silent prayers, and that synchronicities are how it gives us an answer, as if to say, "I am here, I am listening." These whispers from the cosmos remind us that we are not isolated in our quest, that we are not disconnected beings. Every meaningful encounter, every unexpected event that touches us in a special way, is a reminder that the universe is attentive, that there is a higher intelligence behind everything. Thus, synchronicities become moments of union with the sacred, points of light in the midst of the darkness of uncertainty, indicating that even the simplest events play a crucial role in the great tapestry of life. Sometimes, it only takes a moment of silence to hear this message, a pause amidst the constant noise of life. In silence, the soul aligns with the universe, and then we can perceive what was previously hidden. In the fast-paced world we live in, slowing down is almost a revolutionary act. But it is in this silence, in this stillness, that synchronicities find space to manifest. And it is in the trust that we are being guided that we can finally allow ourselves to be led. Synchronicity is a subtle dance between the ordinary and the extraordinary. It manifests mainly in the small things of everyday life, when we are attentive enough to notice. How many times, without any warning, have you found an answer in an unexpected place? Maybe it was a book that seemed to jump off the shelf, a song that played at the exact moment you needed to hear its words, or a casual conversation that echoed exactly what was in your heart. These events, so commonplace at first glance, carry a hidden magic. A message sent by the universe, a silent confirmation that you are where you need to be. These synchronicities are not just empty coincidences. They are guides, illuminated arrows pointing the way so that we can move forward, even amidst uncertainties. It's as if the universe extends its hand, gently touching our shoulders, saying, "Look, I am here with you." To perceive these signs, we must learn to slow down. In a world that constantly pushes us towards speed, towards immediacy, choosing to pause becomes an act of deep wisdom. The practice of meditation offers us this pause. When we silence our minds, we can hear what would otherwise be lost in the turmoil of our daily thoughts. Meditation is like opening a window to the natural flow of life, allowing us to observe, without haste, the synchronicities that have always been there, waiting to be seen. Each conscious breath, each moment we allow ourselves to be fully present, creates space for the universe to reveal itself. A space where coincidences become answers, where chances turn into opportunities. Another powerful practice for embracing synchronicities is keeping a journal. Recording these little coincidences that happen in our daily lives helps us give shape to these subtle messages. By writing, by putting on paper what often seems just a disconnected fragment, we create a bridge between what is inside and what is outside. Upon rereading these notes, we begin to perceive patterns, to notice the hidden beauty in the invisible lines connecting each event. Synchronicity is, above all, an invitation to attention, a call to awareness. When we begin to observe the world with attentive eyes, we realize that the answers have always been around us. The universe speaks to us through the details, inviting us to trust, not in a cold, rational logic, but in a deeper wisdom, an order that transcends control, where every detail is a meaningful part of our journey. Synchronicity is deeply connected to intuition, that subtle sense we all have but often ignore. Imagine an internal compass that, silent and patient, always points in the right direction. Do you know that hunch you had, that inexplicable feeling that seemed to know the truth even before the facts unfolded? When the outer world seems to confirm what we already felt, that synchronicity at work, an echo reverberating in the universe and confirming that our inner voice is in tune with the whole. Our intuition is, in a way, a direct channel to the mystery of life. It is through it that the universe speaks, not in words but in feelings, in sudden perceptions that seem to transcend reason. To enhance our sensitivity to these moments of synchronicity, we need to learn to trust ourselves more, to listen to and respect our inner voice, the one that is often drowned out by rationality or the noise of daily life. Synchronicity is a confirmation that our intuition is aligned with the universal flow, a sort of cosmic validation that appears in moments of clarity. Meditation practice again helps us listen to this voice. In silence, intuition becomes clearer, sharper. It is like a calm lake where we can see our reflection and, perhaps more than that, see beyond ourselves. Intentional silence, a pause to simply be, allows the whispers of the universe to become more audible. When we disconnect from chaos and connect with our own being, synchronicity manifests in surprising ways. Imagine a string instrument. If one string is plucked, another that shares the same frequency can vibrate in response, even without being directly touched. This is how synchronicity works. Our intuition is the first string vibrating, and the events in the world are those strings around, responding to our call. If we are tuned in, if we can hear and recognize this internal vibration, we will notice how things around us begin to align, how signs begin to appear, as if life were composing a melody that is just ours. The more we connect with this intuition, the more we see that the universe is constantly communicating with us. Synchronicities stop being rare events and become part of everyday life, turning each day into a dialogue with the divine. However, this dialogue requires surrender. It requires us to trust in the flow, to believe that, even without understanding why, each event, each sensation, has the potential to take us where we need to be. And so, the universe reveals itself. Every hunch that is confirmed, every coincidence that seems like a message, is a reminder that there is something greater, something beyond control and logic, but that somehow knows exactly what we need. Synchronicities are even more evident in our relationships. They are the invisible threads that seem to pull people into our lives at just the right moment. How many times have you met someone just when you needed help, or when you needed a word that this person, somehow, seemed to have readily in hand? These encounters, which seem destined, are manifestations of the synchronistic flow that connects souls in moments of need. These encounters have a magical quality. Imagine the universe as a vast ballroom, where each of us is a dancer. We do not dance alone, but in pairs, in groups, in circles. The music that guides our steps is life, and we are guided not only by our will but by the very rhythm of the cosmos. When we least expect it, someone appears, takes our hand, and guides us across the floor, offering us something that, until that moment, we didn't even know we needed. Synchronicity in relationships is this perfect dance between need and response, between the question we silently ask and the person who, by chance, becomes the answer. There are many stories about people who found the love of their lives at an unlikely moment or who established successful business partnerships from an unexpected meeting. Think of the friends who come just when we need a shoulder to cry on, or that mentor who appears at the exact moment we are ready to learn a great lesson. When we are attentive and open to what life offers us, we realize that these encounters are not by chance. They are part of a larger plot, where the universe seems to listen to our longings and responds, often through other people. These moments of synchronicity are reminders that we are not isolated beings. Although our human experience often seems like a solitary journey, these synchronistic encounters show us that our lives are intertwined threads in a common web. There is harmony, a kind of choreography that connects us to the right people at the right time. It is as if we were navigating a great river and suddenly found ourselves in the same current as someone who shares the same purpose, the same desire for understanding and growth. There is a saying that, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Synchronicity in relationships works this way. When we are ready, when our souls are prepared to learn, grow, or even heal, the universe sends us the right people. They may come with a comforting word, with a challenge, with a provocation that takes us out of our comfort zone. They may be catalysts for change, bridges to new paths, mirrors reflecting parts of us that we have not yet recognized. And perhaps the secret to opening up to these encounters is cultivating an attitude of trust, of surrender. When we believe that life has an intelligence of its own and that the people around us are important parts of our journey, we allow these connections to happen more fluidly. We allow the universe to surprise us with the perfection of its encounters, with the precision of its chance meetings. Often, synchronicities are beacons that illuminate the path to our life purpose. They become insistent when we are close to an important choice, as if the universe wanted to gently push us towards a direction we haven't yet clearly seen. Have you ever had moments when the same message seemed to appear repeatedly, almost as if it couldn't be ignored? These are whispers of destiny, the cosmos' attempt to guide us toward what we were born to be. There are periods in life when it seems like the universe folds in on itself to give us signs. These are times of crisis, moments when the certainties we built crumble, and the ground beneath our feet feels uncertain. It is precisely in these moments that synchronicities become more present, more insistent, like a lighthouse guiding a ship during a storm. If we are attentive, we may notice how certain words, certain symbols, certain people, appear as messages of comfort, as clues that there is a way out, that there is a path beyond uncertainty. In times of doubt, when everything seems fragmented and meaningless, it is common to see certain patterns repeat. It could be a symbol that frequently appears in your dreams, a phrase you read in different places, or even an animal that appears repeatedly in your life. These patterns, these little signs, show us a direction. They remind us that even in the midst of chaos, there is an invisible thread guiding our journey, a thread that intertwines with our soul and leads us to a purpose that we may not yet fully understand but that is somehow deeply ours. These signs can also come in the form of people. Maybe you constantly find yourself with someone who always brings the same type of message, or perhaps you notice that certain meetings and partings always revolve around the same theme. All of this is part of the fabric that the universe weaves, trying to draw our attention to what matters most, to what we need to learn or transform in our journey. Finding our life purpose is not always an instant revelation, a clear epiphany. Sometimes, it is more like the blooming of a flower, a slow, patient process that requires us to pay attention to the small details, the hints that life offers us. It is through synchronicities that we begin to glimpse the direction of this blooming. The moments when everything seems to converge, when signs, intuitions, and people seem to align, are like portals that allow us to see, even if briefly, our true path. And thus, by noticing these signs, by allowing ourselves to be guided by them, we begin to understand that life is not a sea of disconnected events. There is a hidden order, a pattern that weaves each moment, each person, each encounter. This order is not linear, does not follow the logic of the physical world, but it is real as the sun that rises and sets. It tells us of a greater truth, that each of us has a unique purpose and that the universe gently guides us to it through synchronicities. Although synchronicities may at first glance seem like something belonging only to the spiritual or mystical realm, some modern scientific theories are beginning to suggest an underlying interconnection in the universe. Quantum physics, in particular, challenges us to reassess our traditional notions of causality, linearity, and even time and space. This field of study offers us a glimpse of a reality where everything seems interconnected in ways that defy rational understanding, a reality in which separation is an illusion. Quantum physics shows us that the universe is far more mysterious than we imagined. On the quantum level, particles can be connected even if they are separated by vast distances, a phenomenon known as quantum entanglement. This instantaneous connection between particles, even when they are light years apart, suggests that the notion of causality is not as rigid as we thought. This entanglement can be a powerful metaphor for synchronicity, two seemingly disconnected lives that suddenly intertwine, responding to an invisible and common impulse. It is as if distances did not exist, as if everything were, in fact, deeply linked. Another theory that offers an interesting perspective is morphic fields, proposed by biologist Rupert Sheldrake. Sheldrake suggests that there is a kind of memory shared in nature, an informational base that all living beings access and to which they contribute. It is a field of resonance that connects species, behaviors, and ideas. This notion of a shared memory helps reinforce the idea that there is something greater that unites us, a subtle interconnection that goes beyond mere biology or physics. This morphic field could be responsible for allowing us to grasp the signs and meanings behind synchronicities, as if we were all part of a vast informational network that transcends time and space. These theories are not conclusive proofs but open up space for a new way of seeing the world, one that includes the possibility that our experiences are more interconnected than we imagine. They offer a point of contact between the mystical and the rational, between the invisible and the tangible. Science, with all its precise tools, begins to glimpse what ancient mystics and philosophers always knew, that there is an invisible web that supports all existence. The beauty of synchronicity lies precisely there, at this meeting point between science and spirituality, at this place where reason encounters mystery and where we are invited to embrace the unknown. We do not need to fully understand the mechanics of these connections to feel their truth, to recognize that there is something beyond mere chance at work. Quantum physics and Sheldrake's ideas are reminders that our reality is much deeper, more complex, and more interconnected than our eyes can see. If we allow our minds to open to these possibilities, we will see that synchronicity is not a mere coincidence but a manifestation of this invisible web, of this quantum field of interconnection that links all aspects of the universe. Perhaps by opening ourselves to science that explores the inexplicable, we can understand that spirituality and science are simply two sides of the same coin, both leading us, in their own way, to a deeper understanding of who we are and how we're connected to everything around us. In the digital age, synchronicities have gained a new context. We live in a hyper-connected world, where information travels at the speed of light, and where everything seems interconnected in a way we never imagined before. Sometimes, you might feel like an online ad knows exactly what you're thinking, or that a social media post appears at the very moment you needed to read those words. Technology, with its sophisticated algorithms, creates a different kind of synchronicity, something that may seem almost mystical, but is largely a reflection of your digital behavior. However, true synchronicity goes beyond the reach of algorithms. To distinguish between a genuine signal from the universe and a mere coincidence orchestrated by lines of code, it's necessary to observe how it resonates within you. Authentic synchronicities do not just catch your attention. They resonate deeply, echoing in your heart and mind, bringing a sense of connection and meaning that goes beyond the superficial. They touch our souls, generating a moment of reflection, a feeling of, "This is exactly what I needed." Imagine the difference between seeing an ad that seems to know you were looking for a new book and finding, by chance, an old, forgotten volume in a bookstore. A book whose words speak directly to the situation you are going through. The first event is the result of an algorithm that tracks your behavior, preferences, and statistics. The second is as if the universe placed a secret message in your path, something that only you could decipher because it is directly linked to your journey and your present moment. This subtle yet significant difference is an important key to navigating synchronicities in modern times. We are surrounded by an abundance of information, and the ability to discern what is merely noise from what is a true whisper of the universe has become more crucial than ever. The universe is not trying to sell something, it is trying to connect, to establish communication with you that transcends consumption and delves deeper into being. Social networks and technology can also be, paradoxically, channels for true synchronicities if we know how to listen. There are countless instances of people who, upon encountering a post or video, felt it was exactly the answer they needed. Perhaps an old connection was re-established thanks to a message received at the right time, or inspiration for a life change came from unexpected content. These experiences still carry a sense of purpose that goes beyond the purely accidental. We can use these modern tools as allies, but we must not forget that genuine synchronicities are recognized by the depth with which they touch us. They seem to align with something deeper within us, as if they are a direct reflection of our inner selves. When something truly makes sense, when a message seems not only to be seen but understood, then we are facing a synchronicity that transcends the digital age and touches the timeless aspects of our being. This internal resonance is what distinguishes true synchronicity from a coincidence created by algorithms. It is a deep sense of, "this is for me," which has nothing to do with the desire to sell, manipulate, or direct our behavior, but everything to do with a sincere message that comes in response to who we are, what we are living, and what we need to learn. Technology can facilitate these moments, but their authenticity depends on our connection with ourselves and our willingness to listen to what comes from our innermost being. If you've made it this far, perhaps this is a sign that there is something you need to discover about yourself. Maybe a part of your soul has recognized itself in these words, like a distant reflection that suddenly becomes clear. Synchronicities are not just around us. They are within us, waiting for us to pay attention, waiting for us to connect with this silent dance of the universe. Pay attention to the little coincidences, to the moments that seem insignificant but awaken something profound within you. A memory, a feeling, an intuition. These moments, which sometimes go unnoticed, are the most beautiful ways the universe touches us. They are like little golden threads that, woven together, create the tapestry of our lives. Each thread, each coincidence, each encounter that seems random invites us to look closer, to ask ourselves what hidden meaning lies behind the appearances. The universe is always trying to communicate with us, but the communication is not direct. It is subtle, poetic, metaphorical. To understand this language, we need to learn to listen, not just with our ears but with our hearts. Modern life often distances us from this sensitivity, from this ability to hear what is not said. But when we allow ourselves to slow down, when we simply permit ourselves to be, we begin to notice the signs. Perhaps it's a repeated number you keep seeing, a pattern that insists on presenting itself, or a song that suddenly makes sense in a way it never did before. All these are reminders that we are not disconnected, that we are part of something infinitely greater than we can imagine. The secret to opening up to synchronicities lies in cultivating presence, curiosity, and surrender. Being present to what is happening now, noticing what the moment brings without judgments, without the need to understand everything immediately. Being curious about what life places before us, like a child seeing everything for the first time. And finally, surrendering to the mystery, recognizing that although we cannot control everything, we can trust that there is a greater intelligence guiding us. Open yourself to the unexpected, to the unknown. Allow yourself to hear the whispers of the universe, which come in ways that are often surprising and unexpected. Synchronicity is an invitation for you to step out of autopilot and into the magic of life, where every detail matters and every coincidence is an opportunity for self-discovery. The universe is speaking to you, through the people you meet, the signs you see, the intuitions you feel. Let yourself be guided by this silent voice, by this invisible hand that wants to lead you to a more authentic place, closer to your true essence. Perhaps now, while you listen to these words, you can remember a situation that seemed coincidental but somehow changed the course of your life. If that memory arises, embrace it, reflect on it, and realize how that small event was, in fact, a great act of synchronicity. We are all navigating through the mystery, and it is in the acceptance of this mystery that we find meaning, connection, and purpose. Now that you've reached the end, if this video made sense to you, like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new reflections on the universe, life, and our paths. Let's build a connected community together, a network of people attentive to the signs, to the whispers of the cosmos. Share your experiences with synchronicity in the comments, as every story counts, and every experience is a link that unites us even more to this universal flow.